Well, good morning. It's 3 weeks since we last looked around the greenhouse. The weather's certainly improved. We're in for some very hot weather later this week. So let's have a look around the greenhouse, see how the tomatoes and cucumbers are doing. We'll take a look at the tomatoes. Got 6 plants in here. 3 varieties Shirley, 2 Sungold and 1 Moneymaker. These are all varieties I've grown before and they're quite reliable. The first one here, as you can see, it's got trusses of fruit already setting but still green. This one is Sungold. This will be the first one to ripen. It's because it's only a cherry variety. It's a very sweet tomato, quite a vigorous plant, and as you see, doing well. It's got probably 3 trusses of fruit already set, and plenty more to come. It does continue right through into October producing fruit. As I say, very sweet, very vigorous. Here's a tag just to show you what it should look like when it's ripening. And it's a consistent tomato. Exceptionally high sugar content, and yes, it's one you can just pick off the vine and eat the fruit while you're in the greenhouse. The next one we'll look at is Moneymaker. Once again, trusses of fruit setting, looking quite well. It's got the 3rd truss there is setting fruit. Small side shoot there, which I'll just take out. It's a cordon variety, quite an old, very reliable variety, stood the test of time, and that's one of the reasons I grow it. The next one along, variety Shirley. Again, lots of fruit. It does produce very well, this variety. Not always the most highly sought after, but I think it's a good salad tomato. Produces plenty of, good sized tomatoes, ideal for salad or sandwiches. Next along, another Sungold. You can see it, yeah. Getting tangled with the ones next to it, and 2 more Shirley. As you see, a good trusses of fruit. Should be ready, there's 2 or 3 weeks, I guess. 2 weeks if the weather stays hot like this. Possibly 3 weeks we'll start picking fruit. But the smaller Sungold will be the first one to ripen. On the ground, as you may have seen before, I've got this black polythene. It's just compost bags that I split open. leave a hole in the middle so you can water the tomatoes. Put a few splits in so that water doesn't stand on it. And I've also put in a few marigolds. These are considered a companion plant, supposedly deter certain pests from the tomatoes. I'm not totally convinced, but they're nice pretty plants to have in the greenhouse. I like flowers, so why not? Since the tomatoes set some fruit, I've been feeding about twice a week with this Tomarite tomato food. It's just a concentrated fertilizer, quite high in potash, and someone I tend to use for tomatoes. So all we do is tip some of the liquid into the cap. It's about half a cap full, and pour it into the watering can, and then we'll water. Let's keep the water down around the roots. If it does go on the plastic, I've got some splits in so that it'll drain through. Don't really want any water sitting around the tomatoes. They're like quite dry conditions really. Probably the worst thing you can do is overwater them. But this weather, they certainly need watering every day. And I like to do it on a morning if possible. It means the moisture goes from the soil before the night. And that's what we want really. We want them to take up the nutrients through the day, and the soil to be reasonably dry overnight. Right, another can of water. This holds about 8 litres, but probably 7 litres. I don't fill it right to the brim. So pour in another half a cap, about 20 to 25 ml of Tomarite, and we'll give them a second can of water, and we'll give the marigolds a little bit as well. They certainly do better in the greenhouse than out in the flower beds. As you can see, if the water goes onto the polythene, it drains away through the small splits I've put in there. The idea of the polythene is to suppress the weed growth, which it does, and also at the beginning of the year, because this is just a bed of compost, I think it keeps the soil warmer. Those early days when you first put the plants in, they need all the warmth they can get really, and we often suffer from frosty nights, so anything you can do to keep them warm I think is beneficial. Others may have different ideas, but that's my theory. Also, this time of year, I think it probably stops some evaporation, so that's what I see as the benefits of doing it. Anyway, tomatoes have had their 2 cans of water. Should keep them happy for the day. But I'll check this evening when I come up to the greenhouse again. The bottom leaves on the tomatoes do start to curl, just starting now. It's nothing to worry about. In a few days I'll probably start to take a few off. These are not too bad at the moment. The Sungold here is just showing a bit of leaf curl, but it's quite healthy, so don't worry about it. And as the season goes on, remove the lower leaves. That allows more air to circulate, more light to get into the tomato trusses, and yeah, generally they do go through the season with little problem as far as I'm concerned. I think overwatering's probably the worst thing you can do. One thing with these Shirley is they can produce heavy trusses which split at the joint where the truss joins the main stem, so that's something to watch for. May need a little bit of support. I grow the tomatoes on the south side of the greenhouse where they get most sunlight and heat, but on the back wall I grow the cucumbers, and these are really coming on now. Got to the top of the greenhouse and are now going along the back wall. I put these on, or grow them on a string and just twist them round like so. Similarly, one's growing up here. Just twist the string around the stem, or the stem around the string. And they grow quite happily up there. First cucumbers probably almost ready for picking. I guess by the end of the, well, could probably pick it today, that one. Certainly any day now I'll start picking them. They really do produce lots of fruit, so although I'm not a fan of cucumber, I'm quite impressed by the amount of cucumbers I get from them. I usually put the surplus ones, or most of them really, out on the front wall so that anyone passing by can help themselves. So they're doing well. Plenty of fruit developing. Unlike tomatoes, the cucumbers like a more moist atmosphere, so really want lots of water. It's not an ideal combination, cucumbers and tomatoes, but when you've only got a small greenhouse, you've got to make the best of it. So we'll water the cucumbers again, feed them with Tomerite or sometimes Miracle Grow. So we'll put some water on them. And unlike the tomatoes, which I like to keep dry, I'm not concerned if the water gets on the cucumbers. So they enjoy humid conditions. Again, I've got the black plastic on the floor, a few splits in it. It doesn't really matter if there's moisture under the cucumbers, it just makes them, the conditions better for them really. Another very productive crop, well worth growing if you've got a small greenhouse. And finally we'll have a look at the sweet peas that I grew in here. They've been flowering for a few weeks now. I think I started picking them early June. And nothing special, they're just an ordinary mixed pack of sweet peas. Just picked them for putting a vase in the house. Pretty, nice scent, fragrance, and they don't get the pollen beetles in the greenhouse, which if I grow them outside they always seem to get covered in small pollen beetles. When you take them in the house, your house is full of pollen beetles, so not ideal. But yeah, doing fine here. Pick them pretty much all summer. Well, hope that was of some interest. Thanks for watching. See you soon.